Greetings, economists. Today's presentation will be about demand. Are you demanding? Well, what is demand? Demand exists when somebody is willing and able to purchase something at a given price. Okay? Willingness meaning the buyers actually want to buy the item, and the ability to buy it means they have the resources to buy it. Essentially, they have the money to buy it. Okay? You really want to stress that demand is a behavior. It's not a numerical amount. Okay, versus supply, which we're going to find out is going to be very numerical. Demand is just a behavior. Alright, demand is essentially the relationship between price and quantity. Price being the amount of money that's paid for a good or a service, like a gallon of milk is for $3.49, and a quantity is the amount of items demanded. So if I buy a dozen eggs, the quantity demanded is 12 eggs. Okay? Price of an item determines the quantity demanded. The lower the price, the higher the quantity demanded. The higher the price, the lower the quantity demanded. Three reasons for this. The income effect. Okay, when things are expensive, okay, we have X amount of dollars to spend, we buy less. When things are cheap, we're going to buy more. For example, my salary being a teacher is $1 million. Okay, if things are more expensive, I have less of that $1 million to purchase other things. However, when things are cheap, my $1 million, I can buy more things because they're cheaper. Alright, the substitution effect. Okay? When bagels are expensive and their substitutes, donuts, are relatively cheap, I buy more donuts. Okay? So if things are very similar, I'm going to buy the cheaper one. And the third reason for law of demand is the law of diminishing marginal utility. For each additional unit of an item purchased, I get less utility, less satisfaction, less happiness than the previous one. For example, my first Big Mac that I buy, I'm really going to like it. The next one I buy, I'm starting to get hungry, I'm starting to get full, I'm going to get less satisfaction, and even less satisfaction for the third, fourth, and hopefully not fifth Big Mac that I buy. Okay, so when I'm thirsty, I'll buy 2 Diet Pepsi. The reason why I don't buy a third is because the price of the third Diet Pepsi is going to be less than the price of the happiness that I'm going to get out of it is less than the price that I'm going to spend on it. So just to work in on a demand schedule here. So my demand for Diet Pepsi, I know it's a Coke can there that I'm smashing because I don't like Coke, I like Diet Pepsi better. Alright, so the price of a can of Diet Pepsi is $2. I think it's too expensive. So I'm not going to buy any. Okay, that's my demand schedule. That's too high, so I'm not going to demand it. If it's $1.50, that's reasonable enough for me to buy one. As the price goes lower, now I'm going to buy more. There's that relationship. There's that demand schedule. So if it's $1, I'm going to buy 2. And if it's down at 50 cents, man, I'm getting a bargain. So I'm going to buy 3 of them. So with this graph here, it's going to reflect my demand schedule, this chart to the right here. So if the price of the Diet Pepsi is set at $2, my quantity demanded is 0. So I'm going to reflect that on here. The price being the y-axis and quantity demanded being the x-axis. At $2, I don't want to buy any, so it's going to be 0. If we go down to $1.50 now, I'm going to demand 1. Getting cheaper again, go down to 2. The price goes down to $1, quantity demand is going to be 2. And the same thing for 3. This is my demand schedule is going to create my demand graph.